Greetings. Mr. Ray talking from the comfort of my own home. I hope you can say the same thing, that you're comfortable in your own home. I hope you're well. I hope things are good for you. I want to mention I never wanted to teach a distance learning course. I've been asked to do it multiple times. I said, no, I do not want to do that. It probably is just part of my personality. I'd rather be live. In fact, when I used to play a lot of music, I've done some recording, and I always hated being in a recording studio. I'd rather play live and have an interaction, but we don't have that, so it is what it is. You didn't sign up for a distance learning course either, and I apologize. I don't have to apologize. It's not my fault, man. This is crazy stuff going on. But I'm going to try and make the most of this. I hope you can do the same. We can get through this mess. It has thrown me a major curve. I'm having to learn how to do some things I never really wanted to learn how to do, but I'm doing them, and I'm thinking in the midst of this, we all can learn some things, and we can get through this, and I hope you have good success with this class. We're going to run things largely like I was doing it before, with some changes. Before each scheduled class, and that's a change. You don't keep up with the schedule. You can work ahead a little bit if you want. Don't get too far ahead. Please don't. But I'm always posting a little bit ahead, although it might take a while for the videos to catch up. But you need to do work by the assigned times. And the difference is you don't get those cool little check grades anymore, where I just walk around and I say, okay, it's complete. I give you 5 points. We're not doing that. It's just too cumbersome. It's strange. You're not getting points for it, but I recommend doing what I ask you to do before classes. Do the readings, accomplish the writing task before you come, and I think it will go well for you if you'll do that. Once you log on and see the videos, hopefully I'll give you some ideas about how to make things better. What you will be doing is turning in your work as final products for grades by emailing them to me. Now, it's very cumbersome, and being I have a smaller group, it probably work better than some of my other classes. But some of the assignments I wind up grading old school and actually scanning and giving back to you, or at least on a request basis I will, because it is cumbersome. But what I will be doing is giving you information how to make your things better. We are having to change a few requirements because of this constraint. The research paper does not go away. What is going away, if you looked at the ongoing schedule prior to me taking it down, there are some items we're not going to do. We are not going to be doing the employment interviews, of course. I do encourage you click on and look at the materials. They can help you in life. We are going to do resume and letter of application. More about that in the next video. We are going to not do the survey and accompanying primary research. The reason for that is it is irksome and cumbersome to do that. People have a hard time getting a grip on actually making good survey questions, and posting it and getting results is just irksome. That's the best word for it. And when I'm there and it's one-on-one back and forth easily, we can facilitate it. But I'm just going to drop that. I hope you're not offended. We also will be dropping not only the survey, but the accompanying report. What is added, and I'd taken it out before, the semester before, because we lost some days because of the strangeness of the schedule. I've always done a progress report until last semester, and I deleted it just because things got a little harried and hampered. I'm going to add that in mostly because I think it will enhance your grade, and partly because I think it will force you to think systematically about getting this big project done. Doing a large, it's really not that big, but it's a large-ish 12 to 15 page paper requires some strategy, some process, and the progress report is a document I think will help you think that through a bit. It's also a common document in the workplace, and I'll be developing that later. We will be submitting this big old research paper, and bear with me, the schedule is still a bit in progress. I'm trying to figure out some sequencing. It's a curveball for me. but I pretty much nailed it down. It'll be one of the last things, of course, you turn in. I haven't decided whether or not we aren't going to do an oral presentation because that's cumbersome. There is an online oral presentation course, which I find a bit bizarre. So I'm not going to have you actually do a speech per se. I am playing with the idea, and feel free to email me your thoughts. I'm playing with the idea, and I haven't finalized, and ultimately it's my call, where after you turn in your research paper, I need to have it turned in a little earlier. It might be the last day of the 14th week or the first class session of the last 15th week. But either way, there might be a little space there where you'd have unencumbered ability to create a PowerPoint. The PowerPoint I'm thinking of doing because it might help your grade, and it's something that people tend to screw up a lot, and it's important. It is something you will be called upon to do later. You've probably done them before, and they may not be that good, and I can give you some ideas how to make it better, I hope. But that's where we are with the course. We are underway. We are moving forward, and I hope to help you out. Now, I did scan and return to you your proposal, which is a very important document. It is your research paper in small, and it raised some concerns, certainly for some of you, I would hope. In the proposal, and you can take that and look at it, I'm hoping that the codes make sense. Many of those hieroglyphics are right on the correction symbols and term sheet. And if you can cipher it out, it'll help you. I tried to give you some feedback. I made lots of corrections because what you want to do is fix what you have, highlight it, double space it, and put it on another document and call that your research report. You will literally use some of that. Now, some of it is pretty flawed and you need to fix it. And some of it will need some dressing up so that it's coherent. All of you have something to start with. Now, I put codes on there, and some of them are quite relevant, and I just wanted to elaborate a bit because it will carry forward in the big research paper, which, like I said, is not going away. The code NIS means it's not in the source. In a research report, you have citations, those parentheses that have author, year, page, or the first words of the title, year, page. I should go there and find that information. Some of you, I don't know if you got the wrong page number or if you're just kind of winging it, but I literally need to be able to find it there. And so make sure your citations are specific and accurate to the sources you're using. I do want to mention the sources you gave me, or the materials, not the sources, the actual articles I have. And I'm not going to scan them to you. You can get them again, and I apologize for that. I'm sorry. I hate to do this especially, but your final paper you're going to submit as a final paper. You're not going to attach any sort of research to it. I am going to be forced to go out and hunt this stuff up and check for the items I need to go to the source material to confirm. Unlike other teachers that you may have had, you cite something, I will go and see if it's there and see if it's accurate. Sometimes as I was looking at the materials you gave me, not only was it not in the source, but there were echoes. That's where you have reworded, but it seems to track along the same syntax as the original. It's not really original prose. Plagiarism, PLAG. You cannot copy stuff. Don't do that. There are also some MIs, OSs. Those are misinterpretations or overstatements. You may have presented original language, but you didn't get the idea right. And that's vital in research report writing, is that you present the information accurately, that you present it without plagiarism, and that you present it in your own writing style. WQ, sometimes with a /10%. What I was getting at there is you quoted. I'm like, why are you quoting so much? You can only quote 10%. Make sure when you put a quote, it's also in context. It's not just yanked out. Make sure it's coherent. You kind of lead into it and go out of it. I encourage you to read the research paper sample. That is very well done. It's a bit dated, I'll admit. It's a little unusual or different from some of your topics, perhaps, but I think you can understand it. And a nice feature of that sample I gave you, which is what you're going to have to produce, is that it's written rather well. She does a nice job of presenting nothing but information from other sources in her own language. It's coherent. It sounds good too. And you want to model that and use that as an example. And that's what I'll be looking for in the big paper. So the first step in moving forward with the big paper is for you to take what you've done and fix it. There are also problems for some of you in the references, and don't make me fix it again. Titles are in title capitalization or in sentence capitalization, headline capitalization, not all capitalized, etc. So fix those little nuances, make sure they're good, and make sure everything you present as you go forward is actually from a source. Some of you wrote a number of sentences in the introduction, statement of problem, and proposed solution that were not presenting information from a source. I guess that you were just presenting it from the top of your head or something. You can think of it this way. We're doing a research report, and there's no such thing in this kind of document as common knowledge, okay? If you think about it, there's really no such thing as common knowledge. We all got the information from somewhere. Now, the rules for common knowledge depend on where you are. Sometimes you'll be told that if you go on further in school that, hey, if you see it cited in 3 or 4 sources as common knowledge, you don't have to cite it. I'm telling you, for this paper, everything needs to be cited. It's also kind of honest. I mean, if I'm reading and there's no citation, I'm figuring this is your stuff, and the bottom line is none of us have our own stuff. There's not an original thought out there. All of us get born the same way into this world. I mean, you're born and you don't know anything. The only thing that's instinctive to you is you can grasp with your hand and you can suck, and that's about it. So any information, you owe it to let me know your source. I hope you're researching something that's fresh to you. The worst thing in the world is if you know something and you want to present that idea, you have to go find it. You can't simply tell me about it. Go find it somewhere and then cite it correctly. There might be some other areas that you want to have addressed regarding your own particular paper. Shoot me an email. We're going to email back and forth some, I'm sure. In the schedule that'll be posted, something that's a little unusual and unique, for me anyway, is we're going to have a conference at some point where I want to look at certain parts of your research paper. And what we'll be doing is I'll have it here, because you're going to send it to me. You'll have it there, wherever there is for you. And I'm actually going to call you on the phone, and we'll talk. I'm not giving out my phone number en masse. I hope it's obvious. But if you need something, email me. I can probably answer it by an email. In fact, often that's better because I can send an attachment, etc. Sometimes we want the spontaneous or instantaneous, I guess, back and forth. And if need be, I'll call you. Hopefully I've got your number. If you haven't given me your number on that sheet the first day of class, I think there's one person that may not have happened with, or if that phone number is changed, make sure you send it to me via email. I ask that you check your Deltec email a whole bunch, because there'll be things coming to you, and that's the way you want to stay in the loop. And don't make me send stuff to your Gmail or something. Let's just use the DTCC thing and keep it simple. I think that's all you need to know for now. There's a lot that was written in text about procedures. Please read that. You have a lot of stuff to read and make the most of. And heck, you're all quarantined and everything. Might as well do some reading, huh? So do that. And in the meantime, keep your social distance. Be safe. Make the most of the time. And God bless you. See ya.